Yes, we've been having a conversation between the walking better. Do you think I'm talking too much?
No,
They
no.
call me sometimes talking better. Been having a wonderful conversation with you, and to anybody, this is a conversation with Fred Potter. He is, just a complete hero in my book. And you was getting ready to tell me about the Nuremberg trial.
Well, I was there when they were going on in Nuremberg, Germany. And I was also there when they had the Berlin airlift. An airplane would leave every 5 minutes with food to fly it into Berlin.
Wow.
That's the only way they could get their food, because the Russians wouldn't let them through on the ground.
I was stationed at airports in Frankfurt, Germany, at Rhein-Main.
Yeah.
And because that was
Well, that's
74. And but you was there in Germany, and what year was that?
Well, I went to Germany in '48.
48. Do you
Yeah.
realize that's before I was even born?
Yeah.
Wow,
And you know, Germany was a mess, and all the buildings were blown up. We couldn't talk to the German people. That was off limits. We couldn't go in any German establishments because they were all off limits.
and I asked you, like, what kind of weapon did you have? And
Yeah, M1 rifle,
the M1 rifle. That was the rifle that you had to pull the stock.
pulled the bolt back on it. Yep.
I mean, that's what we used in ROTC in high school. Can you imagine?
I was in ROTC in high school too.
You was.
Yeah.
Now, when you was in Germany, you was in the army at the time, right?
Right.
It's my understanding you was a Marine.
Oh yeah.
You got to wear what we call that uniform today. Oh, in our branch we call it a chickmate. It's such a sharp looking uniform, the dress blue uniform. And so, what did you do in that? What was your job
Ordnance
in the Marines?
in the Marines, the Marine Air Corps.
Wow. So you served this country in two branches.
You know, we took care of the airplanes, loaded rockets on their wings, and loaded the 50 caliber machine guns in the wings. That was our job.
Do you realize that someone like me that wasn't even born when you served,
Yeah.
do you realize that I look at you like a hero?
Oh,
And it's
There's a lot
not
of
just
us-
me. You saw everything that happened yesterday on Facebook.
yeah.
And we was talking about a Purple Heart recipient was there, all those
Right.
veterans, VFW, the American Legion, and then we are the 22. That is, those people served in Iraq.
Yeah, I know.
You're a hero to them.
Not really, because
Well, you are because
they're the ones that done the,
I know it, but we might have came together and rally in solidarity.
yeah.
But you're having to endure this. What I experienced today in Missouri, I don't even know if I could last through it because the stress, for one.
I didn't think it was stress. I was young. Nothing bothered me.
Well, yesterday, watching the Walk in Solidarity and all those people walking, carrying those American flags, oh glory, and everybody speaking. What was going through your mind while you was watching it?
Well, I don't know. All I can say is I appreciate everything they were doing.
But
You
to
know,
see all your brothers and sisters there, and
But you know, all those people have been through the same thing, if not more, than I ever been through. You know,
You know,
I was just when I was in Germany at that time, we were just occupation troops occupying Germany.
yeah, but I'm talking about yesterday and the ordeal you're going through. All these brothers and sisters coming across the state and from other states
Oh yeah,
to show solidarity for you.
right, yeah,
And it just makes me, with all the jokes we have about each branch, it just makes me feel so good, that camaraderie.
yeah.
And by the way, your brother said something yesterday in his speech. Did you hear that?
You mean my nephew, Alan?
Alan. Oh, he's a nephew.
Nephew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he said something about Air Force. I might have to come up with some jokes.
Oh yeah, he come up with stuff
But
because
that's, that's all good. It's
yeah. Well, everybody has their jokes, about the service. At least they did when I was in.
if I could go into this, I've seen pictures of you and your, I'm going to use the word bride, Miss Betty.
Oh yeah,
How long was y'all married?
39 years.
39 years.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep. If she was here now and seen what was going on, she'd have a fit. She thought that was one of her good nieces.
I noticed in court today, there was a lot of people that are in support of you.
Oh yeah.
And it was just astounding to me what I witnessed. And I'm from the outside. I was there taking more of an objective view, and I was making notes based upon certain categories and that's not. But what really started, we talked about the case before yours,
Yeah.
and that judge, he didn't take the attorney's advice. Even that investigator, who I found out later was Army vet,
Yeah.
that Department of Human Service investigator said he should have invoked the rule, but he didn't close the court, and that little 10-year-old boy had to testify.
Right.
To me, that shows you the callous of this judge.
Yeah.
And then when your case came up, I mean, he was, because there was a reporter there and there was a big audience, he was playing to them.
Yeah. Right.
And you could just see that. And then the niece and that attorney for you just think about the moral side of it. Even if I had a battle with, there'll come a time, because my mother did give birth to a son that had a conscience. I just couldn't go through something like that.
No.
How do you hold up? Because
I don't know.
well, if you don't mind me asking you this, I heard from other sources, I want you to confirm. You used to weigh about 185.
Yeah.
How much you weigh today?
140.
So you think it's the stress?
I've been down to 119. The stress got me down.
Wow. And everybody, well, anyway, where else did you serve besides? I mean, I know you talked about going to Germany, but you was in the Pacific, wasn't you?
Well, there's certain parts I'd ever talked about in 65 years, and I don't.
Right, and I don't want to press, but
I just don't talk about some of it.
and that's fine. It's okay. But the thing about it, we know that you served.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got discharges to prove it. Of course, the old fat lady has.
Trust me. Trust me. I know you served, and that's why I'm like starstruck. But if you don't mind me asking, you made a comment. Who's got your discharge?
That old fat bitch is suing me.
Well,
The only thing I got now is an old copy of my discharges, and it's so small you can't read it.
I remember seeing this. Everybody carried one of these in their pockets back then.
Yeah,
Yes. I remember. Oh, yes. Man, I haven't seen one of these in years. These. When did they stop making these? Everybody used to have them. Like, I know in Korean. I just want to clarify something. We know that, I know you're upset with the person you just referred to. And she did look in court like she weighed about 300 pounds.
she did.
And I'm not making fun of that, but what I did notice was she just had this look so heartless. Like there was no sense of moral composition to her.
Well, I'm not the only one she's suing. She's suing her cousin, too.
Right, and I've heard that.
Yeah,
You ever heard the word karma?
yeah,
We might not see it in our lifetimes, but I believe that when people do evil, somehow, some way, it's going to be exposed, and they're going to have to meet a higher power. And I'm not talking about this judge. I'm talking about someone much higher. And they're going to have to be accountable for what they do. And I'm not the one here, and I don't go around preaching, but I remember a scripture that says, talk about children. You do this to the least of thee, you do it unto me. Mm-hmm. I got a feeling someone's looking down. You're doing this to the least of these, you're doing what you're doing to him, you're doing it to me. And they're going to be held accountable. I firmly believe that.
yeah.
And I think because I like to think that if your cause is just, you got the truth on your side, you got the law on it, then regardless of who tries to administer that law, the truth shall set you free.
Yeah.
Do you know you saw all the events yesterday on Facebook?
Yeah.
Before I close out, would you like to say something to all those veterans that came?
Well, I want to thank them all for coming, and I appreciate them giving their time up for me. Yeah, that's what I like to tell them.
And some of them was from different branches.
Yeah.
And you was in two. What is what does Marine say? You was telling your comrade.
Well,
Is hoorah?
I don't know if we even went through all that when I was in.
Hoorah, hoorah. Now I was Air Force. What do we say?
I don't know what you said.
Someone said yesterday, jacuzzi. No, nah. We just say yes, sir.
I think you said hooray for the Coast Guard.
Well, I should go into all these jokes. You've been endured so much, and it's such a pleasure to see you smile. And it's such a pleasure and honor to be here, being able to talk with you. And I'm, even though this, ordeal.
Well, I'll get through that one way or another.
You got a lot of people around this country that they might not be here, but they're here with you in spirit.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I don't want to tire you out.
Okay.
I always like to leave a little bit of humor. You think I talk too much?
No, I never said that.
Well, some people call me the talking better.
Oh, is
You
that
know
right?
how that got started? Because I always preach, if you don't talk, you don't get your message across. And I'm going to tell you something. In your case, a lot of people are going to talk, and the message is getting out there, what is happening.
Yeah.
and what is happening. I don't care if it's the last thing I do on earth, the message will be the same. Well, I guess I better go.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Brad, or I'm almost ready to say sir, but you
No.
enlisted. But thank you.
Okay.